Angelo Badalamenti.
Angelo Badalamenti.
We say, oh, that's it. Oh, it's... And he say, oh, that's it. Oh, it's so beautiful. Angelo. Oh, that's turning my heart out. I love that. Just keep that going. And now she's starting to leave. So far down. Keep falling. Keep falling. Keep falling.
Mr. Lynch likes only like forever. Good morning, Mr. Simply, Mr. Simply. Or simply, 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 David. Not it's January 29, so really only 3 days to the end of the January. Also, really last Tuesday, obviously, first month of this January 2026, 2026, it's in fact Tuesday. In Naples today, totally cloudy, 1 degree cloudy. Sky perhaps more green, what sky, day, sky, and atmosphere in general, and it also seems western now. It's perhaps with a wind, cold and deep, you can see the April. It's early afternoon, 13 and 39. It's 55 for Fahrenheit, 13 Celsius. And this means that it's really cold and clean. Serious fact cold catch for the winter period supports for Resigo, as we can see effect chance and for yes last June 17 effect really come for yes the course last summer in general summer. As absolutely remember if you follow with me, non gas per summer body. Also effect really come for yes also si guarda YouTube. Now as regard we have come also si guarda the winter because on December 2021. And in particular on 16:34 and 3 p.m. in Italy, as absolutely remember fin poi sono buono c'è così di a misura tra i siete membri sono senza propose effect più 108 io si pensa tomare per oxyotto for me la linea si limita a quello sopra spring di summer di uto senza fare spring so c'è soft for summer di 8 for uto once again c'è soft sono tanti già for si pensa casi cacci ti a segrete di chi tantissimi news così effettuata assolutamente incomplete but no in this video because see it's winter it's cold so in general we complain we complain the contrary. But when I see the sentence absolutely incomplete, I'm referring as referred to me, in particular perhaps during this period for the fact that I don't feel cold, but I feel cold less other people think that this says of a practice, better to practice and follow the news examiners, which always try to very good. And when I come in the winter period, the winter weather reports periods, I had to write a comment which I could be try to practice. In this case, I brought it in the asterisk, first part of the first comment. So in case you are in someone is interested, first part of the video with the asterisk, I repeat to come try to practice, and non first people from later think fact or not because they feel cold. From later think yes, well, no, this means that I think 95% I feel cold. Or in general, in some way for me, what's good. In stia, but I got sotto in general way, I think I can say it, imagine just for it's better, this is can be feeling some of this. Ingrid after I think at temperature this bit just before 55 45 and 13 Celsius. But important in questo si vede, ci vedi. Si foto di this. Nesse cortine sono delle se cortine genere siamo di intentiamo ci siamo perfect. Si suppose ma consulta sempre ripeti se sky white grey cloudy and according to the yes continuing trends last days according continuing with the reading I think it's most sure that later it became dark bleak and also that might in a few months I think regulars consider also also tonight or a few hours before it was raining we see let's see what happens. I think yes at as always no bisogna immaginare se winter si possono si inizia clear perché today very clear bad well bad maximum toss little good. So si dice video quindi non è cortino in fra sono senso mix the plants in cortino sa sta number 1 magari things are no so burst for the previous particular birthday previous to solo for so no it was beautiful grey cortino beautiful paint with the branches prepare the things to pass from fact the previous cortino no all the things read the si che si vanno mai comment section ci pure ponte delle first comment perhaps forte comment one of them si read comment section I don't know if you can see on the it read well shot near me for it from yes. See the green flowers, longer flowers, mixed triplets. Or if not, even better, usually better than I shot practically the first part of the video, which Perugia shot you with others cut atmosphere in Japanese. This classic mythical window, classic mythical room, perhaps one there's also another mythical room, another mythical window. Ora, from a broader perspective, also from this pratically the shot similar to Cazio shot film non dentro sicuro, previous cortine bit visual grey cortine visual. The benches perhaps also for the first cortine. The story of reports color cortine if you remember exactly this sure color cortine still cover image ocean and one day as you know time should change and this I was saying this shot also related to the fact of both when recent you don't shoot and also this but more when this self examination as read test pictures center saying is used for previous cortine bit visual grey cortine visual pentagon benches perhaps also for the first cortine bit color cortine so in case I don't remember exactly this and also in this case now say read it for this new cortine sorry but I repeat expression also in case for first time so yeah yes, this little picture sentence is this but also and always better visible for me needs entity in this shot anticipanti mythical legend shot. As regarding resciuto activism, if optimistic activism is first days of last October, but it's important to because in part also today is not visible. Now, the special center for the opportunity for it, so I also for it, so repeat once again, but also always better visible for me in its entirety. In this shot, at this point, si con la agenda shot. And finally, from a medical keyboard, an GX 640 PG 625 also indicates the beginning of the shot. Yeah, get more people of Roshan. But it's getting a door. So, my sister. So, myself, and finally, I hope you will get breakfast. Today it's late in general, also, my last fact, I say late for us. And if maybe it's last December 31, the occasion fact for this time, it's late in general and above all for the record, but not at all for my husband. It's a kind of normality for me, make breakfast this hours. At the same time, it's late, but not to say it's a normality. But above all, important that si fa for record action semana di tritto questo stanno facendo breakfast fintene si mi stato it thinking milk at fintene in parte mette tu si finca record si semana di tritto questo lascio ma tu ripete cosa si record it was from us 50 ma not yes or no yes they're just roll up just in quote 13 and 39 minutes. But the important thing is to see him that in some way also be 40 minutes so I'm young and as we always see breakfast sono must be summer food absolutely. Ragione senza basta io metto su morgan solo sto conti track factor x from this Friday ti cresce in the week of 6 Friday and listen it was a fifth beautiful red black and also white that if the main comparison with the previous all things that can perhaps follow the particular fact of Friday so that was I don't know I guess Ti should be done beers. Progetto one day quanto funziona in Dutch per le sue presidenti ci sono stati insieme su questo speech mi sono scelto se non si sceglie che come sono io non ci sono iniziato gioco se lo so come sono io mi finito si vanno a gioco su quello come sono io insomma non sono preso una scelta ma mi fai un po' di sala biscuit sta mi fai fa ma mi vedo come su più biscuit si finché tu non mi sento mi sono portato gioco ci cookies lo vuoi dici gioco poi che fatto mi spesso mi si nothing particular. I think it's a right and easy response, but to make fact short frequency of doesn't quick shock if I use another potential to me to short range fast thing. Say months. Si chiede lo conosci per capire se mi piace questo better because normally quick sufficient now once we wrote to I think 202 3 4 days si chiede lo conosci per dimmi se mi piace questo better cosa. So I but insert it lo sono questo finisce I but insert it once again so so per quello quindi se fosse effettivo di breakfast ci siamo sempre in particolare me so si che si spito gioco su come sono io so forse mi film questo net via e senza che sono se tolli questo breakfast so no secondo me sono sia ne fa più sia sta la cola anzi ma magari rapso ciò che sei poi da pronta cioè non siamo in questa posizione mi cosa attraverso questa posizione mi era fa che l'Italia bam dark shop fa questa tua come non dico mi cosa stia lì super bravo. Adesso tomorrow is supposed to fun today. If I can't do tomorrow, what will happen? Well, see.